Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of our Let's Play of Grim Dawn. We're playing as a soldier named Redmond. And when we left off last time, we had investigated Lower Crossing and had found the entrance to the Burial Hill, but we didn't go in because we wanted to get a certain number of levels and get our main attack skills opened up. The main skills that we're going to be developing will be Force Wave, which is essentially an area of effect attack, and Blitz, which is quite a powerful attack and also gets us into battle very quickly. We can blitz in and then hit them with Force Wave. If we do it right, we can take out quite a few mobs at one time. The next milestone that I want to go for is this one here, War Cry. Basically, War Cry gives a 33 reduction to the enemy's health. In other words, you knock off 33% of their health straight away. And the tactic I'll be using is that you blitz in, then you hit War Cry, bring their health down by 33%. It also slightly reduces their attack damage and things, you know, small things like that. Not so important. And then hit them with Force Wave. And we'll also have a weapon, two-handed weapon. Now normally people use this skill here, Cadence, for their two-handed weapon. What this skill here does is every third strike with your weapon gets boosted significantly, and it's a powerful skill, but it's more or less a one enemy skill, whereas Force Wave is essentially an area of effect skill. So is Blitz as well. Blitz will take out several characters if you hit them hard enough. Okay, now instead of using Cadence, however, we're going to use a component in our two-handed weapon which will give us a skill which will replace Cadence for this build, at least for the early part of the build anyway. We're going to continue on to push along the mastery bar until we get to War Cry. I might put an extra point into both of these on the way, probably will, but I won't be investing in anything else until we get to War Cry, and then we'll start having a look at some other skills. At level 10 you're allowed to take a second mastery, but I think I'll just persist with Soldier and develop the Soldier for the early part of this game. And we'll see how we're going. Okay, last time we had just arrived back and we have some junk in our inventory. We've made a little bit of money, we have some things that we can sell. We still need a piece of armor for our shoulders. We have something for all the rest of them, but not very good pieces. They're all pretty weak, except for the sword. The sword's not so bad. Now, so what I'll do is I'll just go and I'll sell some of this gear.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Now, we're going to be focusing on a two-hand sword. That means we don't need to worry about guns, we don't need to worry about one-handed weapons and the like. And the way I handle it to smooth things up and to fast things is just, I don't even look at them, I just get rid of them. We're not going to be using them, we don't need to know about them. These here are magical gloves, but they have a fair bit less armor, relatively quite a lot less for this part of the game. We don't need spirits, so I'm going to sell them too. This sword gives us more damage, but we have lightning sphere on the one that we're using, which has an 8% chance of proccing, and it seems to proc quite a bit, and it's quite useful, so we'll keep it and we'll sell this fella. And this one gives us a bit more physical damage, but we don't need it, and we don't need that. We're going to keep these. These are components You can see there, partial component, 1 of 3. Partial component, 1 of 3. These can be placed into armor and weapons and items such as rings and the like, and they'll be very useful going forward. And we have scrap, 1 piece of scrap. Again, also a very useful item to be picking up as we go along. Now, those of you who know this game will have noticed that I didn't use these attribute points last time. Every time you level up, you get an attribute point. So we have 4 to spend. Now, we can spend it in physique, cunning, or spirit. Physique gives us defense and health regeneration. And these are all very important. Cunning gives us extra physical damage, extra pierce damage, and extra duration damage. That would be damage over time. And spirit gives us extra magical damage. Now, we don't really need spirit very much. We're not going to be using magical damage, but at the same time we're going to need spirit. Some of our skills are going to be drawing spirit. We're going to want spirit for items like rings and so forth that we'll want to equip later on in the game. So I'm not going to ignore spirit, and I'm not going to ignore cunning, but I'm going to focus on physique most of all, because that keeps us alive, and since we're playing hardcore, the priority is to stay alive. So we've got 4 points. I'm going to put 2 into physique, 1 into cunning, and 1 into spirit. There we go. And just while we're here, I'll show you the resistances. These are resistances which you can have to different kinds of attack. So you've got resistance to fire, cold, lightning, poison and acid, piercing, bleeding, vitality, ether, stun, and chaos. And these are all quite important. There's also other resistances which are in the game, which are kind of hidden in a sense. You can see them here. You'll notice that you can use these tabs to move between different parts of your character sheet. And you can see that there's quite a lot of information here about your character, about all the different bonuses, the different, let me say now, we have your weapon attack. Gives you details about your weapon, physical, pierce, lightning damage, all that kind of stuff. You have detailed information about how quickly you're attacking, attacks per second, critical damage that you're doing, attack speed. There's an enormous amount of statistics, and all of this becomes very relevant later in the game when we're trying to get our character properly rounded and effective. Total deaths so far 0. Well, and that will have to that will have to stay at 0. Barog the Bloodied is the most powerful monster that we've killed up to this point. I think that's the guy that was under the tree that we took down last time. Okay, so let's head off to Burial Hill.
See you around.
Here we go. Is there anything there? No. Nobody home? There we go. Hello. Just here to spoil your day. Tonic of mending for recovery. Get those iron bits. So I'm noticing that force wave isn't killing those guys straight out, so we're going to need to put something into it next time around. No. So it might be no harm to get another level before we go into the even though this is a magical item, it's actually not worth anything. It's worth a couple of iron bits. Take them for the moment, and I'll have a think about it. See where we are. Okay. Yeah, we need to invest some points into force wave.
That skill's not ready.
Always worth destroying bookshelves. Let's go down and we'll hit the guy beneath the tree. We definitely need to invest in force wave. Okay, let's do this. Still nothing for the shoulders. Gives us a bit more armor, but we'd lose pierce resistance and lightning resistance. I think I'll go for the armor for the moment. I won't say it now, but armor works, you know, in a particular way in this game, so we do need to consider that at some point. I'll take that. I won't take it right now. I'll go in here first. Okay. Keep that, that's a magical item. Yeah. I think we can use that. Okay, there's a food ration here, and there's also an uneaten meal. Just down here on the health bar you can see this kind of yellow overlay has dropped down a bit. That's the constitution. So if I take the food ration, it'll fill up. Constitution is quite important. I'll go back in, I'll get into it later on in the game, but it is quite an important stat that we need to look after. So this is a bit of a fight.
That skill's not ready.
Okay, that's good.
I can't do that yet. That skill's not ready.
Okay. That little globe there is a hero, I don't know, whatever. Heroic spoils, that's what it is here. Yeah. Gloves. See, that will reduce. That will restore the little bit of constitution we've lost, but so will the food ration. So I'll leave that for the moment. Now let's have a look and see did we get it. We didn't get anything for the shoulders yet. In this game, armor works in the following way: each individual item has a rating, and so when you're attacked, the game decides where the attack is going to land. And the armor rating of that particular area is then taken into account as to how the damage is applied. And as you can see, we have 0 armor for the shoulder. It has a 15% to be hit, 15% chance to be hit. We have an armor rating of 3, which is, I guess, the 0 level, and we have armor absorption of 0. So we do need to find something for it. Because if we get hit there, it could be nasty. Oh yes, that's a nice pair of trousers, we put them on. That's an improvement as well. We can't wear that yet. We need 76 spirit. We may be able to put that on in a couple of minutes when we've leveled up. I think I'll just stick with the other guys for the moment, and they're quite nice. That increases our spirit a bit, but not enough, so we only need 1. Okay, so we have 3 points to spend here. We put 1 into mastery, 1 into force wave, and 1 into blitz. We can wear this now. It does give us a little bit of extra armor. We're not going to need this. We're not going to need these. We're not going to need these. There we go. And we've 1 available point. I'm going to go for physique again, which will increase our defensive ability. Okay, so that's all right. Let's go around this way, and we'll head towards the hill.
Can't do that yet.
We'll take that. When we're in combat and our health gets reduced, this will start going down, as you know, and then if we can disengage from combat for a couple of seconds, our constitution will refill, very quickly refill the health bar, and then the constitution will go down. So having a high constitution is a tremendous safeguard against being killed in combat. So long as you can break away from combat for a couple of seconds, your constitution will completely refill your health bar. So it's like having a reserve tank. So as we go along, I'm going to use components in our armor to increase the amount of constitution we have, which will increase our survivability. Right. Okay. Silver band does celerity. Casting speed. I don't think that really affects us. It's not really much help to us, but better enough. Better than nothing, I guess. Okay. Ether crystals. So these are important to collect as well, and you'll see now in a minute. So you can see the tactic I use. I tend to pick a monster that's on the edge of the group, hit him, and then fire force wave in towards the center of the group. Works pretty well. And we got an ether crystal. Excellent. And another. So they're quite important. We're going to be collecting them whenever we can. Let's just go back up here and have a look. Something there. There's another entrance. Okay. Hit and run sort of attacks here now.
That skill's not ready.
Searing Ember. That's a useful one at the moment. Where are you? There he is. Fire damage. That's an interesting component. When you put 3 of them together, it has an interesting skill that we'll be able to put into a weapon and use as a backup weapon. Quite handy. Okay, so we're coming to the entrance to the oops.
That skill's not ready.
Now, our constitution's a bit low. I don't want to go in and take the chance with my constitution so low. So I'm going to scoot back down here. I can use the portal to do that. I can't go over that way, and I think there's a bridge over this way. I want to go back and get that meal. I mean, it may be that I'm being too cautious, but the thing is that I can't afford to die. If I die, that's the end of the game, end of the Let's Play. There we are. So we're back in business. Okay. I think no, I think we'll go ahead and do the go in the entrance that we already reached. Damn. I don't want these guys to do any damage to me. Okay. We got another level. So before we go in, we'll do that. I think we need a bit more in Force Wave. Put one physique. I'll put one on the mastery bar. And one each in Force Wave and Blitz. Here we go.
That skill's not ready.
So this is the burial hill. be careful, because we're going to come up against a fairly significant enemy here. This fella here, Kizog, the Reanimator. So what I like to do with fights like this is to draw off as many of the sort of minions that they have as I can before I engage the boss. Oh, he spotted me. Okay, get back in. Get in.
I can't do that yet.
Run away. Constitution reanimates us. Blitz in. Force roll. So we're doing okay.
I can't do that yet.
Constitution refills our health. Blitz back in. Raise damage. Good. Let's see what we got. Not a whole lot, but however, we're still missing a shoulder. Anything around here? That's the other entrance out, but there's a couple of crystals back down this way. I don't know what to get first. In here. There they are.
I can't do that yet.
Okay, we've discovered what's called a ruined shrine. And when we restore these ruined shrines, we gain devotion points, which we can use on the devotion screen here. And when we restore this one, it wants an ether crystal. There we go, it's restored, and we get a little a little bit of a reward, not a whole lot. Oh, they're quite good. These are the kind of little puzzles you have to figure out. Both have the same armor. One gives us an extra 7% physical damage, and we're mainly doing physical damage, so that's quite good. And the other gives us cunning and defense ability, cold and lightning resistance. Well, I think I'll go with the defensive one for the moment. Those boots give us quite a bit more armor, so we'll go with them, and we can get rid of those. Well, we can get rid of those. This one gives us fire resistance and cold resistance. I think we'll go for that. Okay. So we should head back to Devil's Crossing and report to the captain. Where's that guy? Their poison attacks are quite strong, so you definitely want to avoid them. Don't need that. Constitution's quite low, so let's look out for some rations or essence. Just generally be cautious. Okay, I think I'll just hop into the rift, and we'll zap back to Devil's Crossing and have a chat with the captain.
The dead attacks have slowed and their numbers are thinning. I take that as a sign that you've dealt with the source?
I've killed the reanimator.
A creature was doing this? Disturbing. Thanks to your efforts, we may yet hold out here a little longer. I've sent word to the gate guard. Speak to him and he should let you in. Take some well-deserved time to rest and recover. Welcome to Devil's Crossing. I need some time to plan our strategy. In the meantime, there are others around Devil's Crossing who could use your help. Take a moment to mingle with your fellow survivors. Kasparov, our resident scientist, is really eager to speak with you. He babbled some nonsense, but I believe he wants to talk about your connection with the ethereals. Barnabas, our handyman, said he needed help with our water pump. When you're done assisting them, speak with me in my office inside the prison.
Okay, so we got a bit of money and we got a improvement in our reputation with Devil's Crossing. And we got some experience. This is the screen where we see the our reputation with the different factions. So far we know we've come across Devil's Crossing, where we're tolerated. We've met creatures called Chthonians. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea how you say that word. I'll just say Chthonians. And we've also come across ethereals and beasts or animals that we come across. So yeah. So we don't get on too well with any of those guys. and we're beginning to build up a little bit of rep with Devil's Crossing. The captain said you were good to go. Don't start any trouble. So we're only being tolerated. So this is the prison. First thing I'm going to do is going to have a chat with Valdis. Valdis is the chap that we found in the house in Lower Crossing in the last episode. Well, I'll be damned, you really came through for me. The rift took me back to Devil's Crossing just as you promised. You're welcome. I'd like to thank you. Here, take everything I found out there. It's not much, but maybe you can make some use of it. Thanks. So we got some experience, some iron bits, more reputation with Devil's Crossing, and some scrap. So that's pretty cool. I'm never going out there again. You said you came from Burwich. Yes, I had a home in Mudrow before the town fell to the ethereals. It was terrible. Fire and the dead everywhere around us. I watched my neighbours get torn to pieces by those things. If it wasn't for Captain Bourbon saved you. It was Captain Bourbon that found us hiding in the boarding house. He personally rounded up the remaining survivors and led us through the wilderness. Even with his help, not all of us made it through the swamps. Sounds like it was a difficult journey. Okay. So in the next episode we'll explore Devil's Crossing. We'll go and have a chat with all the guys that want our help and collect a few more quests. But for now, I think I'm just looking at the clock. I think it's long enough. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to get updates. And thanks for watching.